Sometimes the most popular members are the ones with the least to offer in terms of actual skills. Something about K-pop lately has been hitting differently, but not always in a good way. Whether it's the music, the trends, or even the fandom dynamics, it feels like there's a lot to unpack, from unexpected shifts in sound to the way fan culture is evolving. There's this underlying tension that's hard to ignore. What's up, Rosaries? Both old and new, I'm back with more opinions, finally. So let's get into it, because there's more to this than what's on the surface. Oh, and always remember that the fecking melting snowflakes could power our entire Wi-Fi connections. Some groups need to stop trying to drag out a career that's clearly over. Like, why is this still happening? They peaked years ago, gave us some amazing moments, and instead of ending on high note, they're sticking around and giving us nothing but recycled mediocrity. It's actually painful to watch. It's like they don't realize they're ruining the legacy they worked so hard to build. You've got these groups clinging to whatever tiny shred of relevance they have left, throwing out subpar songs and expecting us to act like it's the golden age again. And can we talk about how awkward it is? Watching group desperately try to stay in the spotlight is like watching someone show up to party they weren't invited to. What's so bad about bowing out gracefully? Retire, leave on high note, and let the music speak for itself. Don't stick around until you're just shadow of what you used to be. Some groups just need to let go. It's not a bad thing to know when to quit. In fact, it's probably the best thing they could do for themselves and for us. Fashion in K-pop is so stale right now. Idols are basically walking billboards for designer brands, covered head to toe in logos like they're in high-end commercial instead of performance. I get it, luxury sponsorships bring in the big bucks, but at what cost? Where's the creativity? Where's the flair? Styling used to be a major part of an idol's image, something unique and fun that set them apart, but now it's just parade of the same overpriced clothes. It's like every outfit screams, look at my brand deal, instead of showing off the artist's personality or concept. Remember when K-pop outfits were bold, quirky, or even downright weird? Now it's just cookie cutter designer fit slapped on everyone. And the worst part, these brands don't even care about the culture or the artistry. They just see dollar signs. And sadly, that's what a lot of styling has boiled down to. Idol fashion should inspire people, not make them feel like they have to drop their life savings to look trendy. It's time to ditch the brand obsession and bring back originality, because honestly, this luxury brand loop is draining the life out of K-pop styling. K-pop is getting way too safe these days, and it's painfully obvious. Labels are so obsessed with chasing global charts that they've sucked the soul right out of the music. Where's the boldness? Where's the creativity? Remember when songs like Growl and Blood, Sweat and Tears hit and left everyone show? Those tracks were unapologetically Korean, dripping with charisma and originality. Now everything feels like it's been watered down to appeal to the most basic mainstream audience. It's like these labels are scared to take risks anymore. They're playing it safe with predictable sounds and generic concepts because they think that's what sells. But guess what? That's what makes everything so forgettable. The magic of K-pop used to be in its ability to surprise us, to give us something we didn't even know we needed. Now it's just recycled ideas dressed up in different font. K-pop shouldn't even be about fitting in with the Western market. It should be about standing out and owning the uniqueness. Stop trying to be what everyone else is and bring back the fearless energy that made the genre iconic. We're tired of the safe. Give us something to scream about again. Survival shows are so done, and it's honestly embarrassing that the industry keeps beating this dead horse. Stop trying to recreate the glory days of shows like Produce 101 or 16 because fans are over it. These shows are nothing but recycled drama, painfully scripted plot lines, and scandals waiting to happen. How many times do we need to see the same sob stories and the same predictable outcomes before we collectively roll our eyes? Another dimension? It's stale, it's boring, it's insulting to everyone's intelligence. The whole concept of survival show is just outdated at this point. It's 2025. Nobody wants to see another round of fake rivalries or hear about how the editing team made someone look like villain. Fans want authenticity and talent, not some prepackaged drama fest designed to trend on Twitter for day. It's time for the industry to wake up and do better. If companies actually want to give their idols proper exposure, they need to ditch the tired survival format and think outside the box. Imagine talent showcases with twist where trainees collaborate on creative projects like music videos or unique performances that actually let their artistry shine instead of forcing fake rivalries. Or how about documentary-style trainee diaries that give raw, unfiltered look at their journey? No drama, no script, just pure work and genuine connections. Companies could also host seasonal events where trainees perform live, allowing fans to vote for their favorites without the unnecessary pressure of eliminations, building fan bases organically. Another fresh idea could be skill-swapping shows, pairing trainees with established idols to learn from their experience while creating buzzworthy moments. Even more groundbreaking would be cross-company collaborations where trainees from different agencies team up to produce music or perform, fostering camaraderie and giving fans something truly unique to rally around. It's time to leave survival shows in the past and bring in ideas that are creative, exciting, and actually worth watching. As Rebel Heart is certified miss, and I'm not even sorry for saying it, the best part about IVE's comebacks has always been how unpredictable they are. 11 popped off in ways no one expected, and instead of milking that sound for all it's worth, Starship had the guts to drop Love Dive. Song that was moody, elegant, and an instant classic. And they hit us with After Like, this retro-inspired bop that still kept that signature classy IVE energy. Next, I Am Full On anthem that screamed confidence, followed by Batty, which had this sharp edge and unapologetic vibe. And let's not forget Heya and Exenio, both completely different yet somehow still maintaining that unmistakable IVE identity. Each release was fresh, exciting, and full of surprises. And then came Rebel Heart, or as I like to call it, the Great Starship Betrayal. They really thought it was okay to traumatize. Oops, I mean disappoint. The entire fandom with this week watered down imitation of I Am. Like, who asked for this? The song had potential, sure, but it's ruined the second you pay attention to the lyrics. What even are those lines? They're so corny and cringe, they might as well come with warning label for your brain cells. The worst part? This was supposed to be Licio's moment to shine. Her era, and this is what they gave her. Starship, do better, please. Rebel Heart is the definition of safe, and for group as dynamic as IVE, safe is unacceptable. Let's talk about this tired, predictable trend of bullying rookie girl groups. Seriously, when did hating on them become everyone's favorite pastime? Calling them flops just because they're not breaking streaming records or selling millions of albums right out of the gate is pure insanity. What do you even gain from dragging these girls who are literally just starting out? What's the end game? Is tearing them down your way of feeling important? Honestly, I'm convinced some of you must have been starved for love and attention growing up because this behavior is downright embarrassing. And it's always the same excuses. You say their concept is too similar to senior idol group, as if the industry hasn't always thrived on overlapping styles. Most of the times it's just pure speculation from stans who saw rookie girl groups as potential rivals for their faves. Imagine being this obsessed. I can't relate. He dismissed them because their performances aren't perfect yet, refusing to give them time to improve like every other group did when they started. First, it was ITZY, then STAYC, then aespa, then IVE, then La Seraphim, and now Alit. Who's next? SM's new girl group? Or are you just sitting there waiting for your next target to fuel your petty tantrums? Just to feel a little superior, a little special? But in reality, all you're doing is looking like you have severe brain damage. Honestly, if you're the kind of person who gets an orgasm hating on rookies, you need job. No, scratch that. You need some common sense and maybe therapist because this behavior isn't normal. It's time to let rookies breathe and, I don't know, maybe actually support them for once. Grow up. K-pop stans are something else. The level of bias is next level and it's honestly embarrassing. When someone else's idol gets even the slightest bit of success, instead of celebrating it, they go full-on hater mode. They start scrambling to find any dumb excuse to downplay their success like it's the only thing keeping them alive. And if that doesn't work, they're out here wishing for their downfall. I mean, come on, it's not your fave, so all of a sudden it's time to tear them apart. calling them flops or claiming they owe their success to someone else. Like, really? Is that what you tell yourself to sleep at night? Deep down, you're just hater, thinking what you're saying is somehow facts. It's just pure bitter jealousy wrapped in narcissism. And then surprise, surprise, you wonder why your fandom is always getting clowned or your fave is getting roasted. You helped create that toxic mess, sweetie. Congrats, you've made your bed, now lie in it. I mean, seriously, who thought it was a good idea to try and book huge arenas in foreign countries when you can't even fill small venue back home? It's honestly embarrassing to see empty seats at your shows in cities where your so-called fan base is barely even thing. Like, don't you think that's sign to pause and rethink your strategy? Look, I get it. Everyone wants to be global sensation, but let's be real for a second. You can't just skip the basics. Your domestic fan base is your foundation. It's the core of your group's success. If you can't even sell out concert in your own country, why on earth are you rushing to book giant venues overseas? Are you really expecting to have fans showing up when they don't even know who you are back home? It's delusional. What's worse is the whole faking it till you make it thing. Companies who let their groups go on world tours thinking it'll boost their global presence, but end up performing in half-empty arenas because they don't have the demand. It's embarrassing for everyone involved. The group, the fans, the staff. It's like watching train wreck, and it's not even fun to watch. It's frustrating and just not sustainable. Before you start booking stadiums, places like the US or Europe, how about you build your core audience first? Actually put in the work to engage with the fans who already know your music and care about your group. Start with smaller tours, work your way up, and prove you've got the goods before trying to act like you're ready to conquer the world. And it's even worse when it's clear you rushed into this world tour with zero preparation. Get your house in order first. Build loyal following, make sure you have solid fan support, and then take on the world. Until then, it's going to be an awkward disaster. Sometimes the most popular members are the ones with the least to offer in terms of actual skills. You want to know why? Because it's all about visuals and charisma, baby. That's what gets you all the attention. It's not about how hard you can belt note or how sharp your dance moves are. It's about how well you can look good doing it. Honestly, it's like whole industry built on aesthetics. The idol who barely has any lines, can't really sing, and dances like they're reading the choreography off piece of paper still somehow manages to pull in all the love. And why? Because they look the part. They've got that lit factor, but aura that makes people swoon and scream for them. But let's not kid ourselves here. It's not because they're out there giving us the most killer vocal runs or insane choreography. It's frustrating but true. You've got members who are out there working their butts off, giving 110% every time, and they're barely getting noticed because they don't fit that idol aesthetic that drives the fandom crazy. It's all about the wow factor. Can they sell the image? Can they give you that vibe? That's what gets the attention, and it's just wild how talent often takes backseat to looking good in front of camera. Like, imagine working hard on your vocals or trying to master dance only to see someone with the most basic moves or the weakest voice getting all the hype because they have that star powers that people just eat up. It's honestly mess, but it's the reality of K-pop. Every time someone's fave isn't popping off or raking in views, here comes the "they're so underrated" brigade. Like, no babe, maybe your group just isn't all that interesting. Being underrated doesn't magically make them good. It's not some badge of honor. It just means people aren't paying attention because there's nothing to remember. If your group can't grab attention in an industry where literally everything is designed to make you look, maybe that's sign. It's not some conspiracy where the whole world is against them. Maybe the songs aren't hitting. Maybe the concept. Maybe their performances are just there. I know it hurts to admit that your fave isn't dominating because they're lacking, but at some point you have to stop blaming the universe and start looking at the group. The truth is the K-pop industry is cutthroat. If your group isn't making waves, someone else will. There's no room for mediocrity when 100 other idols are out here fighting for the same spotlight. And honestly, fans throwing around underrated like its magic word doesn't help. It just sounds like an excuse. If the music slaps, if the performances are fire, if the concept is fresh, people will notice. That's just how it works. So the next time you're about to kill underrated, take step back. Are they really underrated, or are they just forgettable? Because being underrated isn't personality trait, and it's definitely not substitute for standing out. Sometimes the truth stings, but hey, it's better than living in denial. Why does every idol think they need to hit a high note at the end of a song like their life depends on it? It's not impressive anymore, it's exhausting. Half the time, it doesn't even sound good. It's just loud for the sake of being loud, like they're screaming. Look at me, I can sing, when all they're doing is straining their voice. And somehow fans eat it up every single time as if volume equals talent. Not every song needs high note, and not every singer is built for one. But here we are, stuck in this never-ending cycle of idols pushing their voices to the limit just to check some imaginary box. It's not artistry, it's noise. And the worst part is people clap like trained seals because they've been brainwashed into thinking high note is ultimate measure of skill. Guess what? It's not. Don't get me wrong, I love good high note when it's done right and actually fits the song, but sometimes it just feels completely random. Give me controlled emotional performance over desperate scream any day. The obsession with high notes is ruining what could have been genuinely good moments. Not every song needs to end with scream off. It's time for K-pop to let this tired trope go. At the end of the day, K-pop is supposed to be fun, but that doesn't mean we can't call out what's holding it back, agree or disagree. These opinions come from a place of wanting the best for the music and idols we love. Let me know your takes in the comments, and remember, if you like this video, then like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell rosaries to get more content. I'll see you guys next time, bye.